Are we live? Are we rocking? Just had a little bit of a computer glitch there. I have a lot of those. So thank you for joining me, episode 44. And as I was saying a moment ago, which was interrupted as all the technology collapsed, I put up a post not so long ago about what is your number one issue with horses. I've gone to thousands of people, got hundreds of replies, and I just thought I'd work my way through them, see if I can help anybody. So one of the first main issues that came up with horses was time. So it came up more than once as well. It came up, I don't know, about 10 times. People said the time. Every other issue came up as well, but the first one was time. So I thought I'd just deal with them in chronological order. Start with the first answer and work my way up. Time. The time that horses take. I'm sure you understand exactly what this person meant when they said the time that horses take. I certainly know. So we spend so much time, don't we, with our horses? It takes so much time to muck them out, obviously, put them in and out, change the rugs, pick the feet, wash the feet, keep them clean, do the feeding, then you've got the exercising, then you've got the creams and the treatments and just everything. Then you've got all the training that you want to do. No wonder people haven't got time. You're talking about hours and hours and hours. And just imagine if we did have more time, what could you do with your horses then if you had more time? I mean, things you could do, the places you could go, the people you could meet, the activities you could do. If you had more time with your horses, that'd be great. So I don't want to waste your time. So if your number one issue isn't time, see you later. Or for that matter, if your number one issue is time, but you just want to have a good old moan and put a funny face emoticon on and then carry on, that's fine. You do that and I'll see you later. If you actually want to get a handle of your time, if it is genuinely your major issue, and I know it is with some people, so these are the people that I'm talking to. If you know that you could do more and you could do more things, if you could get a handle on your time, then that's what this broadcast is about getting a handle on your time. But it is actually quite a workload to get a handle on your time. So if you're serious about it, then there's 4 steps if you want to get a handle on your time, do more with your horses and do the things that you want to do and not spend your time mucking out, brushing the tails, changing the rugs, soaking the hay, all that. So this is what we need to do. 4 steps. First, why. Second, audit. Third, prioritize. And 4th, communicate. So first, why? Why do you want to get a handle on your time? Why do you want to put in the work? Why are you watching this video? Why are you thinking, yeah, I'd quite like to get a handle on my time and do more time with my horse? Because I know why. Because it means you could do more things and go more places and all that blah. However, notice how we were very precise about the problems of time when if you want to commit yourself seriously to making the most of having a horse and getting the most of your time, or indeed any other project for that matter, if you're feeling that you're overwhelmed and so the horse is not doing all the things that you dreamed of, or you're not doing all the things that you dreamed of, we need to notice that we know the workload and that seems overwhelming, and then we couldn't actually say very clearly why we'd want to get a handle of our time. So we could do the things we want to do and do the activities that we want to take part in, go to the places we want to go, meet the people we want to meet. Completely vague. So I could just ride around. Completely vague. But when you say, why haven't you got time? Well, that's exact. That's got detail. It's like, yeah, I've got to apply the creams, change the rugs, muck it out, and do what I've got to do. And you can list off the chores, no problem at all. But the benefits of having more time, the activities you would do, is all vague. And that's where the problem lies. If you put your focus and detail on why you haven't got enough time, then you will never have enough time. There's a phrase that I often say called, if the why is big, then the how is easy. Why would you want to sort your time out? It's a big job. So it had better be worth it. So above all, you're not going to sort out your diary, your timetable, your scheduling. You're not going to sort out the serious matter of having fun on your horse if you've got no reason to know why you're doing it. So I would suggest that if you want to get a grip on your time and make the most of having your horse, then first of all, you need to know why you're going to put this work in, because it is work. If you've lost control of your time, I'm afraid it's work. But you don't have to do it. But if you don't do it, don't then go on my post and say my number one issue is time, like it's a complaint, unless it's one of those jokey complaints that you put an emoticon on. So, okay, so if we sorted out the why and sat and just thought for a while. Unfortunately, just like money, you need to invest a bit of money to make a bit of money. You need to invest a bit of time to make a bit of time. So if you sat down with a piece of paper and wrote down, what would, if I could have the time to do the bite sizes that I need to do and the exercises that I need to do to get that familiarity with my horse and be able to progress in bite-sized steps and everything else that I say, where would that take me? What would I do? And if you sat down with a piece of paper and actually wrote, why have you got a horse in the first place? Why do you want to get control of your diary? What opportunities would that unravel for you if you did have extra time? Because let's be honest, no one's got extra time. We've all got 24 hours in the day. Elon Musk is going off to Mars. He's only got 24 hours in the day. The Queen's only got 24 hours in the day. There might be a little bit of if you just sort of like hang around the bongs at midnight, then you might get a few extra seconds in each day. You might get 24 hours and 20 seconds, but there ain't no more time. So if we did sort out our scheduling and sort out our time so that we can do what we want to do, what opportunities would that unravel for us? So that does actually mean a bit of thinking work rather than I must get it together. Where would you go? If you improved in incremental steps, what would that mean that you could do this time next year? If you sorted out your time, your timetable, your prioritizing, your scheduling, what could you do by this time next year? If you sorted out your time that you needed to progress on your horse, how you did, what could you do this time next year? What about this time in 3 years? If you were consistent about that, this time in 3 years, where would you be? Where would your horse be? What would you be doing? Who would you be meeting? Who would you be socializing with? Would your social group in the horsey world have changed? What about in 5 years? If you continued to create this time for yourself so that you could progress on your horse, hey, I'm sorry this has gone all serious. And all the flippant people who like, yeah, I've got no time to do my horse, they've all gone. But just think what we could do in 5 years' time if we put that in. You're not going to change your diary, your scheduling, your prioritizing, or anything else until you know why you want to change it, because it's a lot of work. For a start off, you've got to go straight on to point number 1 or 2. If point number 1 is find out why. Point number 2, what you're doing with, we've all got 24 hours. What are you doing with your time now? It's all getting a bit deep. If you sat down and audited your time from the moment you woke up to the moment you go to bed, most people would be horrified at how much time they waste. Just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. I would suggest if you are losing control of your time, that the first step will be auditing what you're doing with the time. We've all got this. It's a great leveler. We've all got the same amount of time in the day. What are you doing with it? I feel almost like somebody coming to sort out somebody's debt. Like, you get this much money in, what do you do with it? But time's pretty much the same. You can spend it, you can save it, you can invest it. So I believe that if you wrote down what you were doing with the time of the day, there would be plenty of opportunity, just like with money, where you could save where currently you waste. And that's a big undertaking. But it's so revealing. It's so revealing. So once you've found out your auditing of what you actually do now, then you can start putting in place how you could do things more efficiently, more to your benefit. Which brings us to the third point. Everybody's got the same amount of time, and you've worked out why you want to improve your time so that you can do the things that you want to do. Is it a priority? And this is a biggie. Is it a priority? Do you prioritize? Genuine question. Do you prioritize yourself and what you want to do in the hours that you've freed up through auditing and managing not to waste quite so much time? If you liberated 2.5 hours in a day, do you prioritize enough what you want to do with your horse that you're paying for, that you're looking at, that you're already investing all this time in? Do you prioritize that this is time for you and your horse? If you do, brill. If it's easily distracted, because there's always something else, isn't there? There's always something else. But the things you prioritize are the things that you do. If the Queen was coming at 3 o'clock, do you think you would be anywhere else but ready for the Queen to be coming? Or some important thing? Is it important for you to spend the time that you need to spend with your horse? And when you actually sit down and think about it, of course it's important. Of course it's important. People have got these horses and they cost a lot of money, they cost a lot of time, and you've got them for a reason. And then once you've done the work, you prioritize the mucking out and the cleaning and everything else that you must do with your horse, but you must also have fun with your horse. Otherwise, it's all a chore. So a lot of people have a problem prioritizing themselves, especially if you've got family pressures and work pressures and everyone's relying on you. I get it. I do get it. But it is as important to prioritize yourself so that you're feeling that you've got a healthier relationship with your horse. And the way to get a healthy relationship is to progress. So you need to do this for yourself. You do need to prioritize. You need to prioritize what you need to do to keep you healthy, happy, and sane. So once you sat down and you said, yes, I do have to prioritize myself. I can see that I am an important member of the family as well. Not everything that I do gets pushed to the back. I do have priorities. And a good tool for doing this is to make sure that the horse comes first. And part of the horse coming first is you being happy and healthy with a healthy mental outlook by doing the things that you want to do some of the time. in your time, the time you've allocated for yourself. You do have to allocate time for yourself, you know. You are important. It's a bit like in the event that the oxygen masks fall down from the airplane, put yours on first before you look after your family. You do have to prioritize yourself. So after we've worked out our why we need to find ourselves more time, audited where we're wasting our time, and carved ourselves out extra time to prioritize for us, then actually prioritized for us because we're a valued member of our bubble anyway. After all that, we need to communicate that we're prioritizing our time for ourselves. You need to communicate that so that when you have got family pressures and somebody else trying to take your time, you've prioritized yourself, and you must communicate to everyone that at this time I will be doing this. I will be doing what I've prioritized, and make it absolutely clear to the other people around you who provide the distractions. Don't ask me to come in and have a cup of tea and cake, or don't ask me to come and help you do the gardening, do the accounts, whatever it is that you've got to do. We'll set a time to do that. I'm not saying I won't do it, but this time is my time. But you must communicate that, because what people do is they get the why. It's like, oh yeah, I can see why I need to do that, and they carve out the time. It's like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. That will liberate that time, and they prioritize that it's very important to me, and they don't say anything. They're like, I'll do that. And there's a pressure to not say to the family, maybe, or the friends, or the social circle, at this time, on this day, I am not available for you. So there you go. 4 things you need to do if you want to get control of your time. Why? Audit what you're doing already. Prioritize the free time that you liberate from auditing what you do already, and then communicate to everybody else who may not be taking you quite as seriously as you need to take it yourself. So if your number one issue with horses is time, that's my advice. This came about, I'll just give a little reminder, because somewhere further down this page is a photograph with mountains through horses' ears, and it says, what is your number one issue with horses? And this was the first answer that came up, time. And we'll be dealing with the next answer next time. Thanks for listening. If you've got any questions, if you want to put your number one issue, put them in the comments. I'll read all the comments in a bit. If you're looking on replay, don't think it's too late. I'll read all the comments. And if you've got a different number one issue, stick them in the comments and we'll get to that too. Anyway, time for me to go. See you later. Hope this was useful. Thanks for listening.